my name is Monique.
So, Monique, what procedure did you have done?
Rhinoplasty.
The process started when she was 15. She had, at the time, we noticed that she was having problems breathing. She slept with her mouth open, and the coach even commented, she's been a soccer player since she was maybe 6, that it had an effect on her trying to play the sport. So we went to see a doctor that was a specialist. I don't recall his name, but when she was 15 in Galveston, and he said, look, she needs to wait till she's 17 or 18 before the deviated septum is repaired, because that's where the problem lies. So we did. We waited, and when we called again, we were directed to Dr. Pine. Okay, that's how we ended up here, through Dr. Pine. We went to see Dr. Pine. He diagnosed it as, yes, deviated septum, pretty serious. And he said, we were just talking about this, her and I, a few minutes ago, and he said to us, there's only one person that I would recommend to do this procedure. And I said, who? And he said, that's Dr. Atre. And I said, why? And he said, look, if I had kids, that's who I'd want to do this surgery. And I said, well, you need to expand on that. And his reasoning was, Dr. Atre is one of the only doctors that I know that can do both. He can do the reconstruction after doing the deviated septum. So within a day, he referred us to you, and he said, you know, he was familiar with you from University of Texas. So that's how we ended up at Dr. Atre's office, and the process took place. And yeah, he, you know, examined her. And when I first walked in the door, I was very skeptical. Of course, I'm 70 years old, and I'm healthy, so I thought, well, you know, what are we doing here? And I thought, well, first thing I thought, this is going to be very pricey. But, you know, the confidence it brought her after she had it, I mean, it was worth it. Whatever I had, it was worth it. But whenever I sat here, and I was made to feel so comfortable by Jennifer, by Dr. Atre, and the more it went on, it was like probably an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, it was explained. And I guess what was impressive was the fact that Dr. Atre sits there, even though she's a minor, he talks directly to her. I mean, he doesn't talk to me because she's going to be the patient. So she had to feel comfortable with the procedure, because I knew she was nervous about it. There was no doubt that, you know, she was very skeptical about, wow, what am I going to go through here? And what am I going to look like? You have to remember, she's a 17-year-old beautiful young lady, but the problem is she had heard so many horror stories. There was no doubt the horror stories had an effect. So, you know, when Dr. Atre was talking to her and said, hey, you know, this is what we're going to do, Monique. And again, Dr. Atre directed all of his conversation with Monique, knowing, and he explained to her, you know, your grandfather, you know, is the caregiver and he's responsible for all this, but you're the patient. So when all of that happened, then I started feeling more comfortable, you know, and he examined her and set up appointments, and Jennifer was wonderful. She's a liaison, and then she was nervous, obviously, for a long time prior to the surgery, and there was some delays on our part, but when she finally decided to do it, she was a little worried about, what am I going to look like? I always thought she was a beautiful girl anyway, but you know, she still had the medical issues, and the school made arrangements, the coaches made arrangements, and everything was fine. And we checked with the school, you know, for time off, homework, making sure that she, you know, didn't miss any time or unexcused absences. And then, when the surgery took place, after the surgery was done, it was kind of like, I'm a nervous wreck. You know, I'm just kind of like a mother hen. Even though it's just her and I, it's kind of like every 5 minutes, you know, I know she can't breathe because her nose is stuffed. But, you know, we just knew that Dr. Atre had the background and the history and the professionalism that it was going to be okay if we just did what he said to do. But then when she had it removed, the day we came to Dr. Atre's office, I don't know, a week or so after it was done, and had the packing removed, and just a little snip here and there, you know, taking the stitches out, it was like, wow, you know? And the end result is, I guess what I've seen since this has taken place, I've seen the self-confidence, I've seen the security come back, I've seen the happiness. I mean, she's smiling a lot, even though she may not be right now because she's a little nervous. But, you know, I've seen so many things occur with her that she may not have noticed, that I'm so grateful for, that I just wish we could have done this a long time ago. But it didn't happen because obviously the age and